In the previous demo, Chuck showed how you would actually use a bot to collect data and how you'd use AI to put that data into a digital repository. In this demonstration, I'm going to show you how you'd actually take that data and put it into a legacy application. Let's go ahead and start with Microsoft Flow and actually work through one of the brand new features that they just introduced called UI flows. So let's go ahead and create a brand new flow. And in this case, we're starting the wrong type. Let's go ahead and start with a flow itself, not just the UI flow. And we're going to go out and actually, I want this to be scheduled. So I want this to run every day. And we'll call this one Legacy App. And we're going to go out and create it. In this case, what we're going to do is we're going to go out and take a list of all the entities from a common data service. You saw Lisa create that for us, and you saw Chuck actually put the data into it. And in this case, we're actually using the World Tour environment. There it is. And the entity that Lisa created was called WT Registrations. All right. Now that we've actually gone out and we're going to list those entities, what are we going to do with them? We probably want to walk through every single one of those. So let's go ahead and do a looping structure. And that's called apply to each. In this case, it wants to know what collection are we going to walk through? And we're going to walk through the list of records. At this point, what are we going to do on each of those records? We're going to use that brand new UI flow that we were just looking at a second ago. Here we are, we're looking at UI flows, and in this case, that legacy application happens to be a desktop app, so I'm going to choose that one. And it wants to know which UI flow. And I've got a couple. I could actually use the laptop or the mainframe. In this case, let's go ahead and create a new one, and we'll call this one legacy app. And you'll see that it's asking for some input. So let's go ahead and, in our scenario, we're going to, in our legacy app, collect a name. And the name will be Chuck. And for the description, we'll just use name. And what else are we going to collect? Probably an address. So let's go ahead and call this one address. And the address might be 1 Main Street. Pretty generic. And address. And what else would we collect? Probably the state. All right. And what might be the state? Yeah, we're doing the presentation New South Wales today, so we're going to call it New South Wales, and the metadata will be just state. All right. Let's go ahead and hit the next one, and it says, hey, do you want to go ahead and add these yourself, or do you want to record it? We do want to record it. Let's actually take a look at that mainframe application or that legacy application we're playing with, and hit the record button. So let's actually bring that back up. You're going to see the recorder comes up here in a second. We're going to hit that record button, and let's go ahead under name. We'll put, I don't know, we'll put my name again, Chuck Sterling. And under address, it is 1 Main Street. And we're going to actually replay these with the values in the entity. And finally, we're going to echo the New South Wales that we used a second ago. Let's go ahead and say done. And we finish the application, and we do want the application to finish after we're done entering those values. So let's go ahead and add an action that says we want to close the application. That makes sense. Now, this case, we're actually just going to echo the same keystrokes again and again in there. Is that terribly useful? Maybe not. I think what we want to do is actually use those input parameters that we defined right off the bat. So let's actually go ahead and put in, I think that we're looking at name, and then actually we're doing 2 sets of keystrokes. What is this keystrokes doing? It looks like it's, oh, so this is actually the address. All right. And then we're going to go out and send in the address. And in this keystrokes, what are we saying there? It looks like it's New South Wales. So let's go ahead and get rid of that stuff and put in state. Let's make sure there's no other keystrokes. Okay, so it looks like what we've done is we replaced the static keystrokes with input parameters to our UI flow. So we're going to go ahead and hit next. And now it's going to go ask and say, do we want to run this? Let's go ahead and save and exit this. And let's go back to the flow that's using it and go out and say, where are we going to get those input values? Well, in this case, we're going to get them from that CDS entity. The first one's name. So let's see if we can find name. There it is. And if we go out and look at address, that should be there. And state, there should be a field in the entity called state. And of course, we could do this for all the fields. Just for the sake of time, just constraining it to a couple of the fields right now. Let's go ahead and hit save. And at this point, let's test it. Again, in the scenario that we created, it would actually only run once a day because it's scheduled, but we're actually going ahead and actually saying, I want you to run it now. Now, what should happen, let's actually watch this UI right here at the bottom. It should actually bring up a new one of our applications. Let's see if it's going to do it for us. Oh, we actually need to hit the run flow rather than just yammering away. Now, if we watch, we should actually go out and see that it's going to start one of these. Oh, there, it started it. Okay, so let's go ahead and ask it to come up. There it goes. And now you can't see me on my camera, but I actually have taken my hands off the keyboard and off the mouse, and it actually has changed the focus to the name field. And you see that we didn't type in Lisa Crosby from earlier. Oh, and what happened there is we didn't actually get a highlight between those two steps, but that's okay. It goes to show you that we would need to go back out and modify that to actually have another one of those syn keys or another set of keystrokes that highlights the next control. But I think it actually shows you at this point that I can easily, with no code, modify a legacy application or integrate with a legacy application with brand new data I'm collecting today. So let's watch one more field come in, and I think we're going to actually get no space and actually have the address concatenated right to the end. Yeah, we did. Okay, but that's enough for the demo. My name is Charles Sterling, and thank you very much for watching.